Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sign, Seal, and Succeed, leveraging M-Files and DocuSign for contract management webinar. My name is Aiman, and I am pleased to be here as your host for today's session. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, please note that this is a webcast webinar, which means that you will be in listen-only mode. We encourage you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the webinar. Secondly, we will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, and we encourage you to participate by typing your questions in the question section. If we are unable to answer your question during the session, we will follow up with you via email. Last but not least, please note that this session is being recorded and a copy of the recording will be shared with you once it is available. Now, without further ado, let me invite my colleague Jenna to the stage. Jenna, over to you.
Thank you, Ayman. Hi, everyone. A very good morning to you. Firstly, we would like to thank you for your time. As mentioned by Ayman, in today's session, we will be covering on contract management and how M-Files and DocuSign can help simplify your current processes. Before we start, I would like to introduce the speakers. My name is Jenna. I am the Sales and Marketing Manager, together with Takif, our Senior Application Consultant. He will be demonstrating the user interface after the presentation. Right. The agenda for today is we will be covering on the following: overview on EDMS consultants, introduction to M-Files and DocuSign, what is contract lifecycle management, how contract lifecycle works in M-Files, a system demonstration, and the Q&A session. So now EDMS's overview. We have been in industry now for more than 20 years. EDMS Consultants, we're an experienced company in providing digital transformation solutions and services in content, document, and business process management. Our mission is to ensure and to help our clients to automate and also streamline our clients' business processes to ensure at the end of the day, our client achieve improved business profitability, agility, and productivity. We have been a partner of M-Files for more than 10 years now, and we are one of the top 50 partners around the world and the first Malaysian partner of M-Files to be certified as an M-Files delivery partner as of the year 2022. More in EDMS. EDMS consultants, we have extensive experience in the following verticals. As you can see, oil and gas, engineering, manufacturing, power utilities, ports infrastructure, and also in banking and healthcare. In Malaysia, we are a registered vendor with Petronas, Ministry of Finance, TNB, and Telecom. And EDMS Consultants, we are known as a regional solution provider in the Asia-Pacific region. We provide our services and solutions not only in Malaysia, but also in Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore, and more. EDMS services. So these are our main 4 focus services. As you can see, professional ICT consultancy and support, HR consultancy and talent acquisition, risk safety and environmental services, and also asset management services and asset management solutions. Throughout the years, for all of our services, which I have shared in our previous slide, these are our overall clients for all of the services that I've shared. But if you were to look at our digital transformation clients, these are our overall digital transformation clients. Now, I would like to introduce to you on M-Files and DocuSign. So what is M-Files? So M-Files is a leading intelligent information management platform that helps organizations to manage and access their documents easily, as it provides a centralized location for all of an organization's documents, and also it can integrate with other software and services to ensure a seamless user experience. DocuSign, on the other hand, is a digital transaction management platform that allows users to securely sign, send, and manage documents electronically. So this platform also has more than 350 pre-built integrations with popular business apps. So if there is any integration that is required, you can let us know, and then we can actually check it for you. Right. So the next slide will be on what is contract lifecycle management. So here are the 8 steps taken for contract lifecycle management. Step 1 is the initiation, then we'll go into creation, approval, execution, performance and monitoring, renewal, termination up until its analysis and improvement. Now, let's dive in deeper on that. Okay, as you can see over here during step 1, this is the contract initiation. This is the starting point of the contract lifecycle. It involves identifying the need of the contract, setting the objectives, and initiating the contract creation process. Step 2, contract creation. In this phase, the contract is drafted, reviewed, and negotiated. Parties involved collaborate to define the terms, the conditions, the obligations, and the rights of each party. So the legal and compliance are also to be taken into consideration during this stage. On contract approval, once the contract is created, it goes through an approval process. So this step 3 involves obtaining internal approvals from the stakeholders, the legal teams, and management to ensure companies' policies and standard compliance. On the contract execution, this phase involves getting the contract signed by all parties involved. So this may include obtaining signatures manually or leveraging electronic signature solution like DocuSign to streamline your signing process. For the contract's performance and monitoring, so after the execution, the contract enters the performance phase. So this includes managing and tracking the key milestones, the obligations, and also the deadlines stated in the contract. So this involves ensuring compliance, monitoring performance, and addressing any issues or disputes that may arise. On to step 6. Here is where the renewal or the amendment phase is involved in reviewing and renegotiating the terms as the contract approaches its expiration date. So this stage ensures continuous alignment with a proper notification setting. The next one will be on the termination and the expiration. So at the end of the contract term, it is either it expires naturally or it is terminated due to various reasons such as completion of objectives, breach of contracts, or maybe mutual agreement. So proper closure, including finalizing deliverables, settling outstanding payments, and handling post-contract obligations is crucial. The last step will be the contract analysis and improvement. This step, or maybe we can say this phase, involves analyzing the contract's performance and identifying areas that requires improvement. It helps organizations to refine their contract management processes, to identify patterns, and also optimize future contract negotiations. Right. Now we're going to go into how contract lifecycle works in M-Files. So here is an example of a parallel workflow that can be configured in M-Files. So perhaps we go to step 1 first on the draft. So during this initial phase, the contract is in a draft form, right? So we are in the process of compiling all of the information and also terms. So this is considered like the preparation stage where the contract content is created and organized. The next step will be going through internal review. So this is a crucial step as the document undergoes internal review by our dedicated teams, such as here, for an example, the contracts, finance, and also the legal. So each team has its specific responsibilities. Let's go through it. Contract team, their responsibility will be to ensure that the contract terms, the clauses, and language aligns with the intended agreement. Finance team, on the other hand, they review the financial aspects such as the pricing, the payment terms, the financial obligations to ensure they are consistent with our budget and policies. Legal team, on the other hand, checks on the legal compliance, the potential risk and ambiguity in the contract language. So they also ensure alignment with relevant laws and regulation. So no digital signatures or wet signatures are required at this stage. The focus during this stage is more on the collaborative of the internal assessment and approval through M-Files assignments. Now, we will be sending the document for internal signing. Once the internal review is successfully completed, the document moves to this step. So the contract is sent for internal signing to our designated internal signers and witnesses, which will be done via DocuSign. So this internal signature validates the completion of the internal approval process before issuing it to the vendor, the supplier, or the third party individual. Now, step 4 is the sending it for signing. So after the internal signing is completed, the contract progresses to the next phase where it sends, it sends to the external parties such as your vendors or your suppliers to get their signatures. This process is managed seamlessly through DocuSign to ensure efficiency and accuracy in the signing process. The next one is activate contract. So upon successful signing by both parties, the contract is officially activated. So this signifies that all required signatures have been obtained and the agreement is now in effect. Step 6 on the expiry notification. So M-Files gives a notification whenever the contract is about to expire, and during the expired and terminated step. So this is, this is technically like the end of the contract life cycle. So it is either it reaches its natural expiration or its termination as per the agreed terms. So this phase marks the conclusion of the contract's journey, and it is important, for the to document the reasons of the termination or the expiration for future reference. Right. So during the demo, we will actually showcase the workflow settings in M-Files. Right. So M-Files is a metadata-driven solution. So therefore, as you can see in sample screenshot 1, users can view and also group the documents, the contract documents, based on its workflow state. So this is very helpful to help you monitor and track all of the contract statuses in your M-Files. The second screenshot showcases a view that lists out all of the contracts regardless of the workflow state. So in M-Files, users can customize the list view based on how they want to view it. So for an example, they can customize their view based on, the view of their contract based on the title or the workflow state or the supplier in a tabular kind of format. So aside from that, users can also export this particular list into a CSV file. Now let's go into the key features of M-Files and DocuSign. So here are the key features of M-Files and DocuSign. So centralized location. So what we mean by this is that M-Files serves as a centralized document management system to store and also organize your contracts in one location. This, coupled with DocuSign electronic signature capabilities, allows for seamless management of your contracts from creation up to execution. Customizable templates. So what we mean by this is that in M-Files, you're able to customize your templates based on how you want it. Technically, it is based on your requirement. So document history and version control. So M-Files tracks contract versions and maintains a comprehensive document history, providing a complete audit trail of changes. DocuSign adds to this by capturing a record of all the signing activities, ensuring transparency and compliance. Intelligent search and metadata. So M-Files utilizes the intelligent metadata-driven architecture, which enables easy categorization and powerful search capabilities. This, combined with DocuSign's automated signature workflow, ensures quick access to specific contracts and streamlined signing process. Aside from that, integration with email. So M-Files can be integrated with your Microsoft Outlook. You're also able to configure the M-Files button in your Outlook. Workflow automation and collaboration. So M-Files facilitates automated contract workflow, assigning tasks and notifications, while DocuSign streamlines signing processes with customized signature workflow. So this technically promotes a collaboration and also eliminates manual bottlenecks and also accelerates the contract life cycles. Aside from that, they're also friendly in terms of integrating with business systems. You'll have comprehensive search capabilities as there is multiple ways for you to actually search your documents. Secure access controls. So what we mean by this is that M-Files and DocuSign provides a robust security measure. So this includes a granular access control and encryption to protect your contract data. Therefore, you can manage the security settings based on your company's policy seamlessly. Lastly would be the mobile accessibility and flexibility. DocuSign's mobile apps enable signees to review and sign contracts on the go, while M-Files ensures access to contract information from any devices. So this mobile accessibility enhances the flexibility, convenience, and productivity. So by leveraging the combined key features of M-Files and DocuSign, Organizations can streamline contract management, enhance collaboration, improve efficiency, and also ensure secure and compliant contract life cycles. Now we're going to go into the key benefits. So how would these combined powerful solution benefit your organization? Now let's take a look. In terms of time savings, M-Files and DocuSign significantly reduce the time spent on manual contract management tasks. So you can streamline your contract creation, execution, and retrieval, allowing you to focus on more strategic initiatives. Enhance efficiency. With M-Files, you can easily organize and categorize your contracts, enabling a quick and intuitive access. DocuSign, on the other hand, eliminates the need to print, to scan, and also mail the contracts, accelerating the signing processes and also reduce administrative burdens. Compliance and risk mitigations. M-Files and DocuSign help you stay compliant with legal and regulatory requirements. Robust audit trails and version controls features ensures that you have a complete record of contract activities, facilitating audits and mitigating compliance risk. Improved collaboration. So M-Files and DocuSign facilitate seamless collaboration among stakeholders involved in the contract management. So you can easily share, view, and also track all your contract versions, ensuring everyone is on the same page and reducing the delays and also any miscommunications. Cost savings. So by eliminating paper-based processes, M-Files and DocuSign reduce the cost associated with any printing or physical storage or even document handling. Aside from that, you can also save on shipping and mailing expenses, which is contributing to the overall cost savings. Enhanced security. M-Files and DocuSign offers an advanced security feature to protect sensitive data. So you can ensure, only authorized access are able to actually access the documents. You can track the document history and also maintain a secure audit trail. Increased visibility and control. M-Files provides a centralized repository for all of your contracts, offering real-time visibility into your contract statuses, the deadlines, and also the key milestones. With DocuSign, you're able to track the progress of the contract signature and receive notifications, ensuring that you stay in control of the process. Scalability and flexibility. As your contract management needs to grow, M-Files and DocuSign can easily scale with your organization. So whether you have a few contracts or a vast portfolio, these solutions can accommodate your requirements and also adapt to the changing business demands. Mobile accessibility. So M-Files and DocuSign enables access to contracts and signing capabilities from any devices anywhere. So you can review and sign your contracts on the go, which enhances the productivity and reduces the delays caused by physical distance or traveling. Customer satisfaction. So by leveraging M-Files and DocuSign for contract management, you can streamline your processes and reduce errors and also improve your turnaround times. So this leads to faster contract cycle, enhancing customer satisfaction and strengthening business relationship. So overall, the combination of M-Files and DocuSign offers numerous benefits, enables organizations to achieve efficient, secure, and compliant contract management processes. All right, now we'll be going through the demo for you to understand further how the system functions. I will be passing it over to Takif. Takif, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jenna. So let me just share my screen first. All right, so I hope everyone can see my screen very clear. Right, so just like Jenna mentioned earlier, M-Files is available in the desktop application as the desktop application, as you can see here. You can also use M-Files via the web application, and M-Files is also available in both Google Play Store and also Apple App Store for the mobile application. But for this DocuSign demo, we'll be using the desktop application. So I'm just going to double click this desktop icon here. Right, so once you have double click or launch the desktop application, M-File will list out all the vaults, all the document vaults that have been configured in your environment. So this is, this really depends on you, on how many vaults that you want to create. You can create only one vault for whole organizations. So meaning to say that all department will be, will be managing their document in this one particular vault, or you can have multiple vaults for each department. For instance, like maybe finance department would like to have their own specific vault to manage their own finance related documentation in which they don't want to share it with other departments. So I mean, this is some of the use cases on, if you want to use multiple vaults. But for this demo, I'm just going to use one vault, which is EDMS DocuSign demo. So I'm just going to double click this vault here. Then I need to key in my credentials and just give it some moments to log in. Once you have logged into M-Files, M-Files will automatically redirect you to the M-Files home screen. So this is actually how the M-Files home screen looks like. So in case that this is the first time you come across M-Files, so I'm going to, maybe I'm going to briefly explain some of the basic user interface of M-Files. Yeah. So as you can see on the top here, we have the search bar. So this is actually quite straightforward. So if I just write something here and click enter, it will find anything related to this particular word. Yeah. So as you can see here, we have documents, we have external people, we have vendors. Right. So please note that in M-Files, we are not just storing documents object. We are also able to store non-documents object, for instance, like external people, vendor, or maybe you would like to create an object to store your clients, customer, or project object. So it really depends on what are the objects that you wanted to store in M-Files. Yeah. Right. So back to the searching mechanism. So when you search something, it will find the match. It try to find the match in three areas. The first one would be the name of the object. So as you can see here, we have the word KCA in the name of this object, and it is highlighted in yellow. The second area would be in the metadata, right? For instance, like this one, we don't have the word KCA in the metadata. So if I click this documents object here on the right hand side, we will see the metadata properties, right? So this is metadata properties, and we see there is a word KCA there, and it is highlighted in yellow. And as a result, it will, show this particular document as the result. Right. So just a bit more on the metadata properties. Just like we mentioned earlier during the presentation, M-Files is a metadata-driven document management system. So whenever you wanted to create a new object or upload a new document, you need to give them a class, right? For instance, like this is actually using a contracts or agreement class, and these are the metadata properties that we have configured for this particular class. Yeah, so you can configure your own metadata properties based on the class, right? So if I just click on this external people here, we are using another class which is external person, and this particular class has its own metadata properties. Yeah. So just back to this documents object here, which is contracts. We can also, that's the second area. Back to the searching mechanism. The second area, they will find it the match in the metadata properties. The third area would be if I click preview here. Oh, I need to expand this one first. Right. So let's say that I'm clicking this. I will click this PDF version. So in M-Files, you have this preview section in which you can preview your documents directly from M-Files without having to launch your third-party documents reader or maybe PDF reader, right? So you can just preview from this tab. So as you can see here, we have the word KCA in this document, and it is highlighted in yellow. And this is also the reason why this document is displayed as the result. Yeah. So this is how the searching mechanism works in M-Files. So it will find the match against these three areas, right? So let us go back to the M-Files home screen. And when you go to this M-File home screen, you can see these views, right? So views is, it is actually quite similar to a folder, but but it works differently with folder. In views, in M-File views, you need to define that particular view so that it will list or it will consist of the objects that you have defined. Yeah. For instance, let me just create one new view, right? I'm just click create here, create view, right? So let's say I wanted to create a view so that it will list me all the external person. in my environment. Yeah, so I'm just going to write all external person. So I'm not going to choose this to check this box, because if I check this box, it will be a common view which is visible to all the users. But I'm just going to create a views for myself. All right. So I'm not going to click this one. Then I need to define filter, object type, external person. So if you want to further classify or further filter the views, you can do this. You can add more conditions here. But for this one, let me just filter it by object type, external person. Then I click OK, and I click OK. Right. As you can see here, I have my own view here, my views. So if I double click this view, I can see all the external person object that have been created in M-Files. Yeah. So this is the particular views. I mean, this is what I get for this view, right? We list out all the external objects. So maybe I wanted to add one more column. You can do so. For instance, but it really depends on what are the metadata properties that is available for this object. For instance, I wanted to add the vendor column here, so that I will know each of the vendor's name, right? So I'm just going to right click, insert column, and I'm going to choose these properties. As you can see here, we can see the vendor name beside the extended person name. Yeah, so which is really useful. And in case that this list is quite long and you want to group them based on their company, you can do that. This is something that you can do. You can just right click, group by vendor. So it will group this external person based on their company's name. Yeah. So you will get something like this. Yeah. So it is quite quite useful. So if I just double click this view here, I can see all the external person belong to this particular expert enterprises nation. Yep. So this is how you can play around with the views in M-Files, which is quite useful. So let me just go back to the to the home screen. Right. So now we are let us I'm going to to launch this. I mean to click this all contract views. So we have configured this view so that it will display all the contracts that we have created in M-Files. So I'm just going to double click this view. And in M-Files, you can do something like, you create a main view, and then under that main view, you can create multiple subviews. All right. So we have configured this view so that it will consist of multiple subviews, which indicates their workflow status. Yeah. So let me just open this contract master list. I can see when I open this view, I can see all the contracts that we have registered. The details of this particular contract, the vendor, and also their workflow status, which is really interesting. So you can actually know the overall picture overview of your contracts. Right. So I can also, let me just go back to another subview. For instance, I just wanted to see what are the contracts that is expiring. Yeah, so I'm just going to click this view. Then I can see this one particular record here, which is this particular contract, which will be expiring the end of this month. Yeah. So basically, this is the same document. This is the same document that you see in the contract master list. Yeah. So meaning to say that you can, in M-Files, you can create multiple views, and at the end of the day, you can see the same document. So this is because basically in M-Files, we are not worried about where do we keep with the file, where is the file, but we are emphasized on what are the documents or what are the objects that we need to create. So this is why you need to classify them, key in the metadata properties. So this will eventually resolve all the traditional folder management issues. For instance, like you forget the location of that particular folder, and at the end of the day, you just create a new folder and upload the same file, and which lead to a redundancy. Yeah, so this is one of the most common issues that we are having when it comes to traditional folder management. Yeah, right. So back to the webinar, back to the demo. I'm just going to create one new contract. So I'm just going to create this button here. So we have this create button at the top here, create document, right? So I'm going to choose the document objects, and then this is where you need to choose the class. Yeah, you can have multiple class. For instance, we have document, other document, and I have a specific contracts or agreement class. And for this particular class, I have created a template, which I will be explaining later. So I'm going to use this service contract template, right? And then it will display this metadata properties. Just like I mentioned just now, we are more concerned on what are the document or what are the object that we're going to create, right? So we need to fill in the metadata properties that we have defined for this particular class. So maybe for contract owners, it would be me. The effective date for this particular contract may be, let's say, the end of next month. The expiry date maybe next year, right? And then, all right, so this is the list of vendors that we have created, all right? But for this demo, I'm going to create a new vendor, right? So let me just create a new vendor by clicking this button here. So this is the create vendor object metadata card properties. I'm going to enter their names. I'm just going to copy and paste a few things, some dummy names here, and going to key in some dummy address. Right, so for instance, like this is our vendor to manage our cloud services. Yeah. So I'm going to create this object here. Then it will be listed here. So I'm going to fill in the same thing in the description. The contract here would be 2023. Right. So just like we mentioned, just like Jana mentioned during the presentation in this demo, our workflow would be whenever we send this contract for signing, it needs to be it needs to go through both internal both signer and witness from both parties. Yeah. So for internal signer, it would be me, and internal witness would be Alex. Right. For external signer, we don't have any record yet because this is a new vendor, so we need to add new contact person or external person. Yeah. So for instance, like for this one, maybe for the external signer, the person would be Carol Osman. The email, by right, you should enter their email, but just for this demo, because it will be, we need to open this email. So I'm just going to use my own email so that you can see how it looks like whenever we receive a DocuSign notification. Right? Then I'm going to add a new person for the witness. All right. So as you can see, it will automatically link to this particular vendor, to this company. Yep. And I click create. Right. So I have filled in everything. Then as you can see at the bottom here, we have configured that. So whenever we create a contract class, contract documents, it will apply the contract workflow automatically. And currently it is in a draft state, right? So let me just click this create button here, and it will open for editing, right? One thing about M-Files is that once you create a document, it will open Microsoft Words. One thing about M-Files is that it integrates really well with Microsoft product. So in this demo, for instance, Microsoft Word, and this is the reason why you can see we even have the M-Files ribbon on the top here. Yeah, right. So back to these documents. This is what I mean. This is what we meant by documents template. So we have, you can just use, you can create a template, and then whenever you create a contract, all the metadata properties will be automatically populated. For instance, like the date, the vendor name here, right? Or you can add more, metadata properties based on the defined location. For instance, like when I go to the signature section here, I can see all of the, metadata properties based on the name will be auto-populated in the documents. Yeah. So for instance, like we already have this template, so there's no need for you to actually create the new contract all over again. So in fact, that by using this template, maybe you can just do minor and amendment. So I'm just going to generate one paragraph, right? Just for instance, right? So assuming that you have completed the draft, right? Everything is okay. And then you can also check in this document by using the M-Files tab, right? So for instance, let me just go back on the top, All right, so I'm going to use M-Files ribbon here, check in changes. So this is one of the way you can check in documents, because whenever you create a document, if you want to save this document in M-Files, you need to check in that document first, and then the running number will be populated here. Right, then everything is okay, then I can just click close, save. Then it will also ask you for check-in whenever you close a document. Right, so this is the documents that we have created just now, and it is currently in the draft state. Yeah, so the next step would be we will be sending this document for internal review. Right, so just like we mentioned during the presentation, internal review is doesn't require any signature, but it is more to a collaborative task. Collaborative stuff on reviewing and having an internal approval for this particular document before we issue for the signing. Yeah. So I'm just going to click this internal review step transition here. So this means that I'm going to send it for review. Then as you can see, the workflow now is already changed to internal review. So if I expand this document, right, one thing about M-Files is that you can have a relationship feature. So whenever I expand this document, I can see what are the objects that is linked to this particular document. I can see who is the vendor linked to this particular document, who is the external signer, who is the contract owner. All right. So at the end of the day, you can see the 360 view of this particular document. Yeah. I can also see what are the assignments here. Right. So this is the assignments that have been created whenever we send the document for approval. So if I just click this metadata tab here, I can see that, all right, I have a few assignments here, right? And a few people that is assigned. So just like we mentioned, so it will be assigned to the contract team, legal team, and also the finance team. So if I go to this assign tab section here, by right, I can also see the same assignment, right? So as you can see here, this is the assignment in the assign tab. So in M-Files, we have this assign tab. Whenever you have been assigned, it will be listed here. All right. So same goes if Betty and Bill log in into M-Files, they can see the same assignment in this section here. So I'm just assuming that if I expand this assignment, I can see the documents that I need to review. Right. Assuming that I can just double click, read the document. So maybe I am the contract person, so I can review this document from a contract perspective. Betty and Bill, they might read this document from, just to review from the finance and also the legal perspective, right? For instance, like everything, I've reviewed everything, all the section looks good, all right? And if I require some changes, we can customize the workflow so that it will revert back to the preparer. You can do something like that. But assuming everything is okay, then I will just approve this on my behalf, right? Right. Then I can just click save, and then this assignment will be removed from my assign to tab. Let me just go back to the previous screen. Right, so this is the documents that we have created just now. Right, so in order for you to track who already assigned or already approved the assignment, you can just go click on this particular assignment and go to the metadata. And as you can see, all right, Takif already approved, now pending Betty and Bill, right? So since I am the super admin for this demo, so I can actually approve on behalf just to save some time. By default, you can't approve on behalf. Each of the person have to approve the assignment by themselves, right? So let me just approve on behalf since I'm the admin, right? And then I just click save. Right, whenever everyone's completed the approval, the assignment, this icon here will be changed, right? And then you can also do something like whenever everyone approves, email M-Files will notify you via the email. So this is something that you can do. Right, so now we have obtained all the internal approval. Before we send it for signing, when it comes to DocuSign, you need to convert the documents into Word version, into PDF version. And this is something that you can do in M-Files as well. So you can just right-click this Word document, sharing email and PDF, convert to PDF, add separate file. I'm just going to add a separate file just to maintain the Word version. Right? So just give it a moment to process. these documents. So it will convert this document into PDF. So there's no need for you to, to copy this document outside M-Files and manually convert it to PDF. You can just use this feature. Right, as you can see here, this is the documents now already converted to PDF, right? So once it is converted to PDF, then you can send it for signing. All right, so it will, the first person that will be receiving the DocuSign signature, the DocuSign notification would be the internal signer, which is me, right? So I'm going to send it for signing. All right, so now already moved to send for signing. So by default, I'm receiving the email. So let me just share my email here. In the screen, as you can see, we have notification here mentioning that I have one email, right? Then I can click this review document button here, right? And then it will bring me to a new tab. Let me just share my new tab here. So it will open DocuSign. I can just click continue. Since I am the author of this document, I can just click start, and it will automatically redirect me to the section where I need to sign. Yeah. So I just click sign here. Since I have my own DocuSign account, so this is the reason why it remember my signature. Then I can just click finish. Right. So the next person will be the internal witness, which is Alex. So Alex, in this demo, he is using my email. So let me just go back to this Gmail here. Yep, we can see I have received a new notification to Alex, right? So please DocuSign this document here. You can actually customize the email, right? So, right. So I'm just going to check this box, right? Assuming that I am reviewing everything. Since everything is okay, then I can just click start. It will redirect me to the part where I need to sign. I can also see Takif already signed this document, right? I can use adopt and sign, in which that DocuSign will create a signature based on my name, right? Then I can just click finish. Next, it will move to Karul Azman, the external signer. Yep, so let me just go back to this Gmail, right? Since we're using my own Gmail, right? Karul Azman need to review this document. Right, I agree. Continue. Right, so perhaps maybe Karul Azman would like to go through each of the pages, right, to make sure everything is okay, right? You read the whole thing. So if everything is okay, then you can just click sign here, adopt and sign, right? Then click finish. Right. So now it will move to the very last person, which is the external witness. So no Fazila will be receiving the email. She can just click the review document button, and then perhaps maybe she wanted to go through this document as well, right? So this is quite a long document, right? And maybe she need to make sure that everything already signed, especially her click. Then she can just click sign here. You can also draw your own signature if you want to. So in case that this person would like to use her own signature, so she can just draw the signature and the dot and sign. Yeah. So then I can just click finish. Right. So whenever we have completed the DocuSign workflow, DocuSign will email all of these signers a copy of a completed document. Yeah, for instance, like this one, I received completed documents in which I can just review this document, right? Just to see, right? So this is actually the documents that have been completed. Yeah. So if I just go to the approval section, you can see everyone has already signed. Yeah. And at the same time, From M-Files perspective, for every 20 minutes, M-Files will communicate with DocuSign server just to see the latest status of this particular envelope, right? So after 20 minutes, you can see that this status here will change to active. So after 20 minutes, and what it does is that whenever after we change the status to active, for instance, if I expand this document, DocuSign will send the updated document, right? So you don't have to manually upload the updated document to M-Files, right? So there's no need for you to do that because it will automatically update the document here. And DocuSign will also provide you a summary document in which it will consist of the signature timestamp, the email, and the name of the person, which is quite good. Yeah. But that we need to wait for 20 minutes. Yeah. All right. So that is how you create contracts in M-Files. For instance, we also have these expiring documents here. All right. And in case that we actually didn't we are not required to use this service anymore. So I'm just going to terminate this contract here. So I'm just going to, I can just open the metadata just to see the information of this particular contract, right? And then I can just terminate contract, then click save. Then I can just, key in the termination reason in the metadata properties. Yeah, so this is how you can, terminate your contracts in M-Files by using M-Files workflow. Yeah, and when it comes to this contracts thing, you can also do something like, whenever a contract is expiring, you can have M-Files notify you, for instance, something like this. And whenever you receive assignment, M-Files will notify you as well. Yeah, so this is something that you can do in M-Files. Right, so back to M-Files. How do we configure this in M-Files? Yeah, so let me just go back to my previous screen. So we actually have this apps here, M-Files admin. So this is where you will be configuring all these things, especially the workflow. So let me just open this application here. So this is our Vault. This is the admin application. This is where you create a new users. This is where you create a user group and add the users accordingly in this, in this particular user group. This is where you define all the metadata properties, right? And of course, this is where you define the workflow, right? For instance, like this one, this is my contract workflow. This is currently the workflow that we have configured. Whenever it reaches send for signing, it will integrate to M-File. It will integrate to DocuSign, all right? So you can do something like whenever it reaches certain state, you do some action, for instance, like a separate assignment like this one, in which it will assign to these 3 user group. You can also do something like whenever it reaches the expiring state, it will have the notification sent to this particular person of this particular user group, right? Just like I demonstrated just now, right? So you can, you doesn't require any coding. It is just a drag and drop visual builder workflow builder, right? So it's really easy. So meaning to say that you can create a very complex workflow, or you can create a very simple workflow based on your requirement. Yeah, so everything can be done in this M-Files admin application. Yep, I think that is all for my demo today. If you have any questions regarding this demo or regarding the DocuSign application, you may ask in the Q&A session later. So yeah, Jenna, over to you.
All right, thank you, Take, for the system demonstration. We are now towards the end of our webinar session. Kindly share your questions in the questions section if you have any.
All right, Jenna, we have some question for the attendees.
Mm-hmm.
Is the integration available in all the M-Files plan?
Oh, okay. M-Files, okay, they actually offer 3 platform editions. So they offer base, they offer teams, and also business. So to answer your question, the DocuSign integration is only available on the teams plan and above. Yep.
All right, that's great. I have also another question from the attendees. Can I use DocuSign as a standalone without any integration with M-Files?
Yeah, so maybe I can answer this question. So yes, you can actually use DocuSign as a standalone product, in which that you will, you can upload your own template in your DocuSign account and also customize your own DocuSign workflow in DocuSign without having to integrate with any other solution. So basically, yes, you can use DocuSign as it is without any integration with other solution.
All right, that's great. One more question from the attendees. Can we use M-Files approval feature for external approval?
Right. So maybe I can just answer this question as well. Yeah. So technically, no. M-Files approval assignment, M-Files built-in assignment feature is only meant for internal usage. Yeah? Just like our demo just now, if you require internal review from a specific internal team, then you can use the M-Files assignment feature. Meaning to say that all the registered M-Files user in your organization can use the approval assignment. However, if you require approval or signature from external parties, which means that these users are not registered in your M-Files, so external user, then you need to use, this is where you need to use DocuSign, in which it works very well for external signature, external approval. So M-Files, in short, M-Files integration with DocuSign extends the M-Files capability to obtain signature or approval from the external party.
All right, one more question. If we were to purchase the M-File licenses, is it inclusive of the DocuSign licenses?
Right. I think for that question, I can answer it. Okay, so technically M-Files and DocuSign, they are actually two separate solutions. Therefore, you will need to purchase two different licenses. However, we do have a bundled package plan on these two solutions. So for more information on this, I think I will be in touch with you after this webinar to explain further on our offerings.
All right, that is all the question from the attendees.
All right. Okay, great. So if that is the case, we hope you find the the session informative and also beneficial. And we would also like to thank you for your time and also for all the questions that has been raised. So should you have any questions after this session, or you would like to have a discussion call with us, please do not hesitate to contact us and we will be happy to assist you on it. So until then, take care and have a good day. Bye everyone.